Hi there everyone, it's Gloria Kremer from Oakville, Canada, and today we are going to make some cards using the Flowering Tulips bundle. This is part of my online class, and if you've, so this is the set we're going to be using. Flowering tulips, and then we have the coordinating dies. I think for these cards I used almost every single die. I didn't use these 5 on the end here, but I used everything else, and I tried to use all the stamps. Now with my class, everything you get, everything pre-cut, pre-scored, and then all you have to really do is assemble and stamp your images. So usually that's the sentiments, and I'll show you the 4 cards. So this is what we call a bendy card, and it just stands up like this, folds flat, and then in the back you can write whatever you want. This next card is called a crossover card. Super cute. And then we have this one here, and I sort of popped it up using some dimensionals to give it more more dimension, but you can also glue these pieces down. As you can see, they're sort of popping all over the place, so you can glue it down. Whoops. And this is just your standard card. And then this one here is a book binding fun fold. So let's get started. I think we're gonna start off with this one here. I'm gonna do a separate video for each of the cards, otherwise the video gets really long. Okay, so let's get started. Now I would say 95% of the products I use are from Stampin' Up. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Occasionally I will use products that are not Stampin' Up. And I'll let you know when I do find something that isn't Stampin' Up that I like to use. So for this tulip here, I ended up using a blend marker and doing some of those, and I thought it came out a little too dark, so I didn't really like that look. So what we're gonna do, I think, instead is I'm gonna add some color. I think I'm gonna use Gorgeous Grape, and I'm gonna add some color to my tulips. So let's move these pieces aside. Now when I run the dies through my little mini, I cut all 7 pieces, and I'll show you. So I cut the 3 bigger pieces, and then the 3 that are the smallest, and then there's that one. So in total there are 7 pieces, and I die cut those all at once, and I just run it through once on my mini cut and emboss machine. And this little thing is so cool because it is tiny, so I can just keep this right by my desk all the time. And you'd be surprised at the number of stamps that we have that actually fit in, or number of dies that we have that fit into that, because I would say most of ours actually do. So I'm just taking a blending brush, and I'm using Gorgeous Grape to add a little bit of color. But this marvelous DSP paper already has a lot of nice texture to it. So if you decide not to add any color, that is fine too, because it has a darker look on one side and a slightly lighter one on the other. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my Tombow glue and I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on the inside. And I will show you how I make my flowers. So this one comes out as like a bud. And then this one, I'm gonna take one of these and I'm gonna stick that in there. There's so many ways of making these tulips that you really can't go wrong. And that's my dog barking because my husband just got home. So don't mind them, they will bark a little bit and then they'll calm down. So we have this is our first tulip. And if you wanted to, you can actually put a dimensional in here and just pop it up a little bit. I find that if you put dimensionals, they do kind of just don't stay down as well as I'd like for them to. So for this one, I'm just gonna glue it down. So that is our first tulip. Next, we're going to take this one here. Again, you can add a little bit of color or you can just leave it. I think either way it's going to look really nice. And then for this one, I think I'm going to stick that one. Whoops, I think it's upside down. This piece I always find really difficult to figure out. You can also flip it onto the other side to get a darker look to it as well. So let's just put some glue in here and we'll squish these down. And then we're going to put a little glue there and we're going to pop it inside this one. Sort of like that. And I know I have some extra glue there. We'll just take it off. And then you have these extra pieces that you can use or you can decide not to use them. I'm thinking that these are looking pretty good just the way they are. So I'm gonna just leave these be. Again, you can put dimensionals on it just to give it a little more lift. I guess I forgot to put glue on this one, so let's glue that down. So there's our two tulips. Now, if you don't have the stamp set, then you can just do the leaves plain, or you can sponge some color onto it. Now, because I do have the stamp set, I'm going to add some. I'm going to close this glue before we make a mess. But I'm going to add the stems. And for this card, I believe I used Granny Apple Green. So here's our large one. And then here's our small one. And then we have a small stem. So I'll show you how you can add color onto this, even if you don't have, even if you just have the stamp set and it's already die cut for you. So we have our Granny Apple Green. Oops, table's falling up right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some ink onto that. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I used a slightly darker color for my original, but let's see what Granny Apple Green looks like. So this is sort of Granny Apple Green on Granny Apple Green. So we're going to take our piece that's already pre-cut for us, and we're just going to place it on top of the stamp. Give it a little press. So there we go. And then we're going to do it with the other one. If this is the first time you're watching my video, you'll notice on my left side my pinky sort of does its boating accident quite a few years ago, and my finger was broken and hyperextended, and it now just does its own thing. So there's our other one here, and then we're gonna do our stem. And again, we're just going to lay the piece right on top. Really easy. So for this class, I did offer 3 options. There's the card kit and the videos, but the videos are free on YouTube anyways. And then there was the option to get the kit and the stamp set, or the kit with the stamp set and the dies. So it doesn't even have to be perfect, because these are just stems. Stems are never perfect. Okay, so we're all done with that. Next, we are gonna stamp our, oops. This one looks like it might be missing the sentiment, maybe? Which is fine, because then we'll just stamp, no, we'll just cut out another one. So for this one, we are going to stamp our background. And if you don't have the stamp set, you can just stamp whatever you want in the background. I'm going to use Pool Party for the background, because I think it'll look good. Now what you could, I like stamping before putting any of the other stuff on, just so that I can see where the blue is going to be. So there we've got our pieces there. Now if you want, you can pop the tulips up slightly with dimensionals. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a large one on the back of each. I'm going to put it sort of right in the middle, because I want to make sure I have enough space for the stem. So we're going to put that one there. This one a little higher up. And then we're going to put our stems on. So there's our first stem. And then we'll pop our second stem right up there. Then we're going to do the same with the leaves. Sorry, that was my dog flipping out over something. I'm not really sure what. Now we're gonna look for some white cardstock so that oh, this is a shimmery one. Let me see if I can find some. Okay, so where is our punch? This is the Label Me Lovely punch. And then we're gonna stamp our sentiment using Gorgeous Grape, which I know we have out here somewhere. Now I think another one could fit in there as well. We could also let today be the start of something new. You know what, let's do that. Okay. Because a sentiment like this, you can use it for everything. I mean, I could always use thank you cards, but this one will work as a thank you card as well. Oh, that is perfect. I think this looks so pretty. Okay, and then we're definitely going to give that some, pop it up. And this Gorgeous Grape looks awesome with the tulip colors. But again, you can do any color. I think black would work. You can do it in a green. But yeah, no, the purple looks really great. So we actually didn't use all the pieces for the tulips that we had to. And I think sponging the color looks a lot nicer than my original, which was done with the blends. So I did learn something when I did my sample. Don't use blends. Or don't use such a dark blend when you do it. So we're going to put these little brass butterflies on. And then we're going to mount this. And I'm going to use my tape runner, I think. Or maybe I'll use my snail. Okay, let's just use this snail. That would be my dog in the background if you heard the moaning. Of course, I did it too close to the edge there. This one is the Stampin' Seal Plus. This is the first time I'm using it. But I like the way it rolls. Of course, it gets stuck to my hair. Okay, so we're putting that on. And if you have extra glue and you happen to have one of these glue removing thingies, I don't know what it's called anymore. We used to carry it, Stampin' Up! Used to carry it, and now I think you can find them at the dollar store. Okay, so this piece is done. Now we're going to assemble the other pieces. This is our DSP. Now if you wanted to just use the green, you could. I don't know. I'll do it in the green so that you can see what it looks like. I really like the colorful tulips, but if I do it this way, then you can see the difference, and then you can decide which one you want to do or you can do that part. I think it'll look really good with the green as well. And then we have our piece here, and this is book binding, so I can't remember what I scored this at. We can measure. So I know this middle one is scored at 4 1/4 and then 5 1/2. So if you're doing it on your scoring board, 4 1/4, 5 1/2. And then we're going to take this, and then we're going to take this and do it on the opposite side. And then for this piece here, you will actually put glue down and glue this piece so it stays down. So let's just, you can also use the double-sided tape stuff as well. The glue is nice and quick. So there's our piece there, and then we're going to add this. And we're going to glue this piece down. Then we're going to glue this piece down. And because this is the Stampin' Seal Plus, you really don't need much of it at all because it is super, super sticky. I think this would also make a really awesome Mother's Day card. So I think Mother's Day is coming up in May. I don't know the exact date. And then we're going to put this piece on the inside. Now, if you want to stamp a sentiment, I would always suggest stamp your sentiment first before you glue everything down, just in case you mess up. And then the last step is to do our ribbon. This is also a tricky part. Now, if you didn't want to do the ribbon across over here, you can also tie a bow and maybe just add it over there. But let's see if we can do this. And I just go and double knot it. But you have to do a really tight double knot. So that's what makes it not so easy. So, and then we're going to make sure that it's nice and straight in the back because you don't want it twisted. So let's see if we can do this well on camera. Now, if you have somebody that is able to hold that down for you, that's even better. Otherwise, you sort of have to hold it down yourself. And then hold the pieces really tight. So I think that worked pretty well. And then after you have that down, you're going to trim the pieces. And these are my ribbon cutting scissors because they're nice and sharp. And there is our finished card. So I really think I like the second version more. I think this would also make a great Valentine's, or not Valentine's, Easter card. So I think it would be like the perfect Easter card as well. I don't even know if I have a sentiment that says Happy Easter. Not sure. So we'll stamp something there, and then I'll leave it blank inside for now because I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for. So thanks a lot for joining me today. I have 3 more cards to show you. I'm not sure I'm going to get them all done today, but we will see.